that how it always starts?
I mean, probably very inaccurate vampire, but it was fun.
That's entirely fair. Vampire mythos is actually very diverse, especially since there's some sort of blood-sucking creature in pretty much any culture you see out there in the world. It's a pretty common trope. And next up, we have, I'm just going to go down and to the left, Ryan number 1, who's going to be playing our line cook this evening.
Hi, I'm a nursing student thinking about going into psychology or wilderness medicine, and I've been playing D&D and other like kind of fantasy games since high school. So like for the last like 6 years of my life-ish, yeah.
God, I feel old. And last but certainly not least, we have Ryan number 2.
Hey there, LCPC in Maryland, been in mental health for about 12 years or so, and just really trying to get into role play because I see its therapeutic benefits. Really interested to see how to make that work.
Awesome. So we're going to be telling a story about vampires, as some of the very popular vampire streamers will tell you in any course of their game. We're going to be starting at the very beginning of the story of some very, very young and very, very scared vampires. Quick rundown of the rules. Each of you has character sheets. We're going to be using the rules set up by By Night Studios. These are normally live action roleplay rules, but they're also the easiest to parse on stream. And I didn't want to bombard you with a whole bunch of different rules right off the bat, especially since we have some new players here. So more often than not, it's going to be a rock, paper, scissors challenge. It may be based on either your mental, your physical, or your social attributes. If a particular skill applies, I will let you know. That will be relevant if you end up throwing a tie with either me or whoever you're working against. We have that set up here, and we'll be telling people what gets resolved how here on stream. If you end up with a tie, you will compare your test pools. And in some cases, for a defensive pool, it will be whatever attribute you're using plus your willpower. I believe your willpower is on your sheets. If not, assume a 3 all around, I think it is. Let me double check. If you did, if there, yes. Willpower is in fact missing on this sheet. 1 second, I will take care of that for you.
You're muted, Renee.
Of course I am. Of course I'm muted. That's how this rolls. So everybody starts out with 6 willpower. That willpower can go very, very quickly. However, if you find somebody has really exceptional role play, you can feel free to nominate them to get an extra willpower back. All right, here we go. The last closing shift at your workplace, which is one of them fancy gastropubs downtown with lots of foot traffic, was definitely highly unusual. It seemed like everything was okay at first, but then a group of really shady, menacing-looking types came in the door. They started pushing tables around and acting like assholes in general. But then it got violent and it got scary. This is not a normal instance. And it very quickly turned out to be not a normal robbery or a normal mugging. They shattered the windows, they broke tables, hopped over the bar. And even despite your best efforts, they were just really, really strong. And suddenly, as you were doing your best to fight back, everything went dark. And now you're all waking up in a small concrete room with 3 cots, hard floors. It's cold. There's a single window with bars up towards the ceiling. And from there, you can tell it's night.
What the fuck?
The worst hangover I've ever had.
Oh.
I start lifting myself over to see if I'm injured, and I just sort of back away from the group for a moment.
Strangely enough, you have no injuries on yourself.
Well, that's good because this flawlessness needs no blemishes.
Ryan, you've never had any blemishes. You've always been A-okay with me, kid.
Oh, you too, Eli.
What the hell, Robert? You skimping on the top shelf liquor again? Is this what happened?
Why does everyone always think it's my fault? I didn't do anything.
I believe your name tag says manager.
That's just rude.
But they pay you the big bucks.
The big bucks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, an extra $1.25 an hour to deal with you.
You're lucky I don't charge you.
As the two of you start to banter, you have this feeling in the pit of your stomach that you've never felt before. It's deep emptiness. And you've been hangry before. You've been towards the end of your shift where, you weren't able to get a meal break in. And it's been since 10 a.m. and it's now 9 p.m.
Is anyone else having this really dark heaviness in your stomach? It just kind of reminds you of high school.
Yep. Oh God.
Does anyone know how long we've been here? I start looking around to see if I've still got my watch and my phone.
Your watch is there. Your phone is not.
Least they could do is give us some grub.
I checked the time.
The time is 8:07 p.m. Y'all don't close that early.
I let the group know that. I think we've been here for longer than a day. It's 8 o'clock and my phone's missing, so I can't check the date.
Huh.
I check my pockets to see if I still have any tip money.
How
Your pockets have been cleared of tip money.
I give a side eye look over to Robert.
I didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something you guys usually do at work? This is first night on the job. What the hell's going on?
Yes, every night we get into a fight and end up in a different location where we are locked in a different room.
Well, what the fuck for?
Ask Robert, it's his jam.
Double checking something.
Yeah, we do not condone hazing. So that's not what this is.
Unless you look at your paycheck.
And as you're bantering back and forth, you feel there's something else there besides that hunger. It's whatever has happened to you. Not only are you scared, but you're a little angry as well. But that anger feels almost disconnected to you. It's a little bit more bestial, more atavistic, something a little closer to carnivorous beast than human.
I start like rubbing the sides of my head, and I say, I think that they drugged us to keep us in here. Like, I feel weird. And then I head over and I start yanking on the door to see if I can get it open.
The door doesn't budge. But as you yank on it, you feel something in your mouth that wasn't there before. Your canines feel longer, as a matter of fact, and sharper.
How high up is the window?
The window it's about like 8 feet up. It's not a very tall ceiling.
Here, somebody help me get a look outside.
I help Phil. I put my hands down so that he can step into him so I can give him a lift.
Okay.
I like grab one of the bars and try to like look through.
Mm-hmm. What you see outside it looks like an industrial area. Like probably it's close to the restaurant, but not too close. Definitely not somewhere you could just walk there. But it's pitch black. The streets are mostly empty.
I relay that to the rest of the group.
Sounds like we're in Baltimore.
I panic a little bit and just start slamming my shoulder into the door and yanking on it as hard as I can.
Can I see if there's anything to take apart with the cots to like pick is there a lock on the door?
There is, in fact, a lock on the door. And as Robert starts banging on the door and pulling on it, Robert specifically, that anger you feel gets stronger. In this particular system, there is something called a beast trait. Basically, when you get highly aggravated, if you commit some sort of harm to someone, you accumulate beast traits. At certain levels, if you have too many, it can cause a state of blind fury known as a frenzy. But we'll get there. As you're continuing to look around and kind of figure out, if you can pick the locks or, bang at the door, figure out some way to get out of here. You'll notice one of those old school PA system speakers on the other side of the room, like literally right across from the window. And it crackles to life. Naughty, naughty, naughty. I hope you all had a very good rest. I imagine you have a lot to think about. How did you get here? This is not your beautiful house or your beautiful wife. In fact, are you even sure you're fully alive?
Yes.
Are you sure? Check your pulse.
I stop banging on the door and start like lifting my shirt and looking to see if they took any of my organs.
I'm gonna check carotid.
If you check your pulse, there's none there, and your skin feels kind of cold to the touch.
Hey, everyone check their pulse.
God damn it, Robert, you didn't pay the supplier again. This is all your fault.
If you don't lay off me, Eli, I swear to God.
And
It's
Eli,
not like you can
that's
kill
when
me.
that's when you see it when he talks. Robert has fangs.
All right, I back up. I don't fight with biters.
Holy shit. What did I do to my mouth?
Does he look
feel-
any different other than the teeth? Like eyes or
Robert, no. He actually looks like he's got, fairly ruddy complexion. Robert, your pulse actually still exists, but it's very faint. The rest of you, however, definitely look a little paler than you usually do. As if your blood is not circulating.
Ryan, not to comment on your looks or anything, but I'm pretty sure you were using a darker foundation. But your blending is phenomenal.
this is not how I looked before.
Really? Because you're still quite fetching.
Well, thank you.
You are flawless.
So are you. A little pale, but still flawless.
Yeah, I'm Irish.
Fuck.
You seem to be taking this rather well. Eli, was it? Voice in the PA says.
Someone's been listening in.
Well, of course. If you listen closely too, you might even be able to find me. Screw up your hearing extra sharp.
All right, so I really focus, mindfulness training and all that.
Of
To see if
course.
I can hear anything extra.
So normally you have decent hearing to begin with. Not like can hear a pin drop across a crowded room or anything, but good enough to be able to hear people's drinks order on a rush on a heavy rush night on a Friday. Your hearing is way more improved the more you focus. You hear footsteps that sound like they're not coming from nearby. You hear random spatterings of chatter, mostly standard tough guy grab ass. And then you hear that voice from the PA in a whisper, but not through the PA. You couldn't hear that well before, could you?
Shit. Could you guys hear that?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, come on. We've both been in the restaurant industry long enough. You could have heard that.
I don't hear anything.
What about you, Ryan? Did you hear it?
No.
Phil?
No.
This shit's weird.
Yeah.
Well, what did you hear?
I could hear that voice, but not through the PA. It was really quiet and kind of hard to hear, but I could definitely hear it.
So the voice purrs to the PA once more. What do you think has happened to you? Do you know what you are now?
Assume some sort of living dead thing.
I vote for confused.
That's preposterous. Living dead things don't exist. We are all just drugged. Someone slipped us some acid. They put us in some weird room. What do you want? I just say up to the PA.
I want you to entertain me.
Fuck that.
This isn't a burlesque.
I'm getting out of this room. I think we can bust the door down with one of these beds.
Yeah, I think we all could work together and bust this door down.
You could do it by yourself, Phil. Just a little bit of focus and some of your old training.
Okay, fine, I'll try. I'm going to try to bust down the door.
All right. This door doesn't look like it would fall down for anything more than 3 or 4 dudes really banging away at it. You shoulder check it and you see the concrete around the door crack.
What the fuck?
All right, now I'm pretty sure Phil slipped something in my drink. I can't believe I'm seeing this.
I'm going to go again.
It crumbles a little bit more. A couple more hits like that, you could probably knock it down.
I'm going to go for a couple more hits.
I've never had drugs. Did they usually do this to you?
Well, maybe PCP?
No.
I think so.
You know, I don't even know if Phil could do this. I don't even know why he's in the back. I could have totally used him in the bar last Wednesday.
And that's about when the concrete crumbles. There's actually a big enough hole now you could just reach through and unlock it from the other side. There's some dents in the door though, so we'll see how it goes.
I'll try to open the door from the other side.
The door opens with a little bit of a click. You have to kind of reach in, but yeah, you can manage it. You can absolutely manage it.
Okay.
Oh, good little monkeys. Well done.
Yeah.
And now, if you can find me, I may let you go. But you have to understand, your lives will, or rather unlives at this point, will never be the same. You need me. So come find me and find out exactly what you are.
We're in Saw. This is Saw. We're all high. They've like modified our bodies and we're in Saw. This is horrifying.
I'm going to use that hyper hearing and see if I could at least detect what direction the voice was coming from.
From where you're at, it's roughly straight ahead, but there's definitely like layers of hallways. Like there's it sounds like, based on what you're hearing from different places, this place is a pretty convoluted layout. This isn't necessarily echolocation. You're not going to be able to find your way through, but you can at least have a general direction of where things are. But what you do hear next is the sound of struggling and shuffling footsteps. No, don't hurt me, no! And a couple of pale, clawed hands push a poor, innocent server, like one of the new guys, directly in your path. And that hunger you felt earlier just intensifies. The way your mindset is right now, they look pretty much like a steak. A raw, bloody steak. What do you do?
Internally struggle?
That's actually a really good place to start.
I asked the server how they got here and what, were those pale hands all about that pushed them out while wiping a little bit of drool.
Mm-hmm.
That server, whose name is Evan, by the way, looks around. It's like, I don't know, man. I was just closing with the rest of you. What happened? You look so. What's wrong with you? And he starts backing away.
Who doesn't like a nice steak?
Phil, it always comes down to steak for you.
Yes.
I start walking toward him and I'm like, Evan, I don't know what happened to us. I think they grabbed all of us last night and we've been stuck here. Are you okay?
No, I'm not fucking okay.
Well, stick with us. We've got safety in number.
Robert, what happened to your teeth?
I don't know. It's been like that since I woke up.
Did they turn y'all into one of them? Fuck. He starts looking around and panicking, starts trying to scramble to get away.
Hey, it's okay. Just hang out with us.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna look down at my hands. If he's saying we look like them,
They're very pale.
claws. Are there any gross long claws?
No, not specifically claws on your hands. Your nails might be a little longer, but not necessarily claws.
I grab Evan to slap sense into him.
And this is where we're going to go into a physical challenge. So for you, this is going to be physical plus brawl, which you don't have any brawl, so it'll just be your physical. And then I'm going to, for me, it's going to be physical plus dodge for poor Evan. And it's very, very low, but we'll do it anyway. So it's going to be specifically rock, paper, scissors. And all right, so you threw paper, I threw paper. So that's going to be a tie. And your physical traits are 7. And Evan goes to the gym, but he's not necessarily, a super gym rat, so he's at a 5. So you're actually able to grab him. And there's almost like a voice in the back of your head. It says, drain him, drink him, drain him dry, you're hungry.
So how does willpower work in terms of resistance?
So you're basically trying to resist feeding on him. So right now, you barely managed to hang on. Since you haven't acquired any beast traits yet, that ravenous hunger can't take over you just yet. But just wait.
So out of frustration, I shake it.
Okay. He tries to kind of pull away, but you got him in a grip. It's actually kind of interesting because He probably could have kicked your ass before, but now, no, you actually physically have the upper hand. It's a new sensation for you.
Sorry, Ryan. I sort of have this feeling like when a dog sees a rabbit start running, and I lunge, and I get right up on Eli and Evan and sort of try to lay hands on both of them.
Okay. So this is where we're going to get into a combat situation. I'm going to double check something really quickly because it's been a while since I've actually reviewed these rules specifically for combat.
Well, and Renee, just so you know, my character's surprised, so I'm probably not going to fight back, but more like drop.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely fair. That said, in that surprise, you actually move a lot faster than you expect. And you clear a lot of ground. So, Jacob, as you come forward and kind of lunge at them, Eli moves supernaturally quickly out of your grasp, and you're right there with Evan. And you hear that same kind of steel voice in your head, but it's probably got a little bit of a twinge to it. So I never really respected you anyway.
So I am going to freeze for just a moment, but it's razor thin. So if no one does anything, I'm just going to sink my teeth into him. But I freeze for a moment, trying not to, and then I'm going to go for it.
I'm too shocked at my own stuff to notice anything.
Evan, bless him, seemed shocked at first. But once the fangs sink into his neck, he starts to kind of melt into it. It's like he's on E or something. And you know what he's like on E. He's actually come in rolling at one point. You were kind and didn't write him up. And when that blood hits your tongue, that is the most delicious thing you've ever had. It is better than the finest grade Wagyu steak. It is better than the most expensive, high quality wine. It's better than sex. It's pleasurable. And that PA and that open door, you hear laughter. Good, now you're getting the hang of it. Who's next?
So do you
try to stop yourself, or do you drain him dry?
So given the intensity of the experience and the low likelihood that I realize, exactly what's going on, I just go for it. Yeah. Like a juice box.
Mm-hmm. You do, in fact. Everyone else here, Phil, Eli, Ryan, there were jokes that Robert was a vampire just because the schedule he keeps and how he was, kind of high strung and never really hung out with anybody. He's kind of weird. This is not what you meant. That's some scary shit right there. Go for it. But you kind of want some.
It's like, can we smell it?
Oh, yeah. You can smell the blood, and it smells amazing. It's like somebody put burgers on the grill.
Are you hogging it all for yourself, buddy?
Hey, if you want to give me crap for being the night manager, I might as well be in charge.
Yeah. We all know you don't need to be in charge, Robert. Oh, God, that does smell good. If I try to do a will to not like crawl across the floor and start lapping it up, am I gonna start a crawling, or how does this play out?
You can spend a willpower to not do that if you don't want to. That said, I am tracking all y'all's willpower, just so you know.
Honestly, I think I'm probably pretty thrown off, so I'm going to go with whatever the natural impulse is. So if at this point it's more vampire, then crawling. All right, crawling.
All right. There's still some blood dripping from Evan's neck because in the whole conversation, Robert left the wounds open, and so it's still kind of dripping. Hasn't hit the floor yet, but it's about to.
Well, while Eli is crawling, I want to try and run really fast like he did because that looked really cool. And I want to get there first.
Unfortunately, you can't really seem to get up to the same speed, unfortunately. You're not faster.
Without realizing that I'm doing it, I just sort of bare my fangs and hiss at them like I'm defending my meat.
Want to fight for it?
All right. So, Robert, this is where you get to use a little power on your sheet called Dread Gaze. Baring your fangs in a show of intimidation. So that is going to be for you, that's going to be a test pool of 12. You throw rock, paper, scissors, and everybody else gets a chance to throw against you to not be intimidated. If it is a tie, it is your social plus leadership versus their social plus willpower. And if you spent willpower, then you're down. But since Eli did manage to get to it, all right. All right, so Erica, you lost. You have the opportunity to spend a willpower and throw a retest. Would you like to do so?
No, I think I'm kind of bummed from not being able to run fast, and he's a scary motherfucker.
Yeah, his face contorts into something absolutely terrifying. I'm
gonna see if I can run faster backwards.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me finish wrapping up with everybody else.
Sorry.
Phil, he makes that hissy face at you, like it's almost like brow ridge from Buffy kind of shit. Mm-hmm. You didn't know his face could contort like that. You don't seem to be cowed. Jacob, would you like to spend a willpower to retest that against Phil or no?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So go ahead and do rock, paper, scissors, the two of you. He is still not cowed. All right. So Phil, you look at him and goes like, and you're like, cool story, bro. Eli, what is your social attribute plus your willpower?
That's 7 plus 6, so 13.
Okay, and your test pool is 12, Robert. That means that you would also be successful on that. I'm going to be nice. Normally it is a willpower per retest, but Jacob, you have the option to retest here if you would like.
No, I think that the fact that one of them only seems half cowed and the other one is not cowed at all, I just drop my blood receptacle and back away, as if I'm being magnanimous, as if I'm gifting them with this thing.
Meanwhile, Ryan, as in the host, dear Erica, he's scary. Like, you thought he was a little creepy before, but like this is like straight up scary. But there's that blood there. Do you dare take a case?
I think I'm back to internal struggle. And especially seeing the really strong dude getting closer. Like, I'm not.
Is there still like
so very good, and you're so very hungry.
Maybe seeing Robert back off. I might try and sneak up again.
Okay. And there's poor Evan. He's starting to bleed out onto the floor. We can't let that go to waste now, can we?
So I look up at Robert just because we have this history of working together, and that's probably why I'm not super afraid. And I hiss, "Forgot to close as usual, Robert," and start lapping up the blood. I broke the GM.
That's delightful. So when you taste it, this is definitely better than sex. This is better than your best cocktail. This is better than that high you get on the weekend sometimes when you actually get a weekend and you're not working. This is better than that French chocolate silk pie recipe your mom used to make. Best thing you've ever had in your mouth, and that's saying something. Revenge!
As I see him enjoying it, I just say, "You're welcome, peasant."
As I'm lapping up the blood.
Phil, what do you do?
I'm gonna go over to the. Is there like blood still kind of dripping down? Because he's getting the blood
from the open wound. Yes.
I'm gonna get the blood coming down from the open wound.
Okay. So something else interesting happens as you start drinking the blood. You feel your own canines elongate. So if you want to, you could poke your own holes.
I'm going to do that.
Same for you, Eli.
Oh, God.
There's the... Yeah. And Phil, this is better than that one time that you were stationed in Malaysia. You know the one. And I'm going to be nice. Actually, no, fuck it. Y'all are growers, not showers. There you go. As far as your fangs are concerned.
I move over to make some room for Ryan since she's the latest hire and needs someone to kind of usher her along in this diner bar family we've somehow become in the last 10 minutes.
Ryan, what do you do?
Well, if he's moving over, I'll go.
Okay. And that's
the scary one's put his face away.
put his makeup back on. There you go.
Yes.
And you feel your fangs elongate. And it tastes so good.
Can I have
Better
like
than
the hip bone?
Oh yeah. That's better than lemonade on a summer day. It's better than that cute guy you met at camp a few years back. You know the one.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than that one time back in the drum room at band at school. Oh, one big happy family. The voice purrs of the PA. Come find me, and I'll show you everything.
Does the voice still sound like it's coming dead ahead?
Yeah, it still sounds like it's coming from the same place. At this point, there's a T intersection. You can go either left or right. Kind of figure out exactly where things are. This is one of those. Looks like it was one of those warehouses that was converted into an office building with like lots of little separate offices. There might be an open cube space somewhere.
So it's kind of got that like corporate, cheap sort of wall space, not a whole lot of effort put into that. All right.
That's the one. Yep.
So I look at Phil and I just see if he wants to try to plow through this wall. And let's just see if we can cut straight through all the maze shit. All right, Hulk, do it.
What? Oh, what? My mind was back in Malaysia. What am I doing?
Goddamn PTSD flashbacks. Look, man, we're just plowing through the wall. I need you to plow through the wall.
Yes. I'm going to get a running start and go for it. Oh.
It still hurts. It still hurts. But there's definitely a crack in the cinder block. Anybody else want to try it?
I don't think Rocky here is going to be breaking down 3 or 4 walls in the near future. Maybe we should find a way around.
Did do a good number on that door, though.
I'm going to think at it really hard to see if maybe that's my power. I can't run. I'm just going to think at it really hard to move it.
That doesn't quite work, unfortunately. That said, Robert, you weren't necessarily looking at Ryan at that time. You look back, and now you can't see her. Eli, Phil, you can see her just fine. You've been looking at her. But if you basically you turn your head and then she's gone.
I'm beginning to revise my position on there being no such thing as undead monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning to get concerned that facial expression doesn't constitute sexual harassment in the workplace. I don't know why you're staring at her like that, but we need to refocus and get out of here.
Sometimes I really hate you, Eli.
Oh, hate you too.
What
buddy.
are you guys all looking at me for so weird?
And now everybody can see her again.
You were invisible.
I try and do it again.
Well, with people watching you, you can't do it. You can't go if you're watching.
All right, let's go find this motherfucker and get out of here.
I'm with this person. Let's fucking go. And if there's more blood on the way, we should definitely eat it or drink it.
Hey, before we go, Phil, do you think you could rip some of the legs off those cots so that we'd have some weapons to carry around with us?
Hey, that's a good idea. I'm gonna go back and rip some legs off the cots.
You can absolutely do that. You feel a little hungrier when you're done, but you can absolutely do that.
We need some more blood.
Well, speaking of ripping legs off, does anyone want to bring any Evan with them?
Evan's body is starting to get cold. He's not dead yet, though. He's just kind of looking at all of you, just terrified, or he's clearly in shock. He may not be fully aware of what's happening to him.
He's not dead yet? Can I like snap his neck? Because this is not good.
Go for it.
He just, okay, I want to snap his neck. Put the poor guy out of his misery.
You feel physically stronger than you ever have in your life. Snapping his neck is the easiest thing you've ever done. It's like literally, twisting a bottle cap off of a soda.
This is what we call empathy as vampires.
It was a mercy killing. It's a messy killing. And this is where you hear snickering from down the hall. You don't need heightened senses to hear it, but it's just, there's clearly some folks that are paying attention, clearly are entertained by what they see.
I beeline that direction.
Yeah, let's go hit these fuckers.
I let Phil and Eli be my meat shields.
Which is actually a really good strategy, considering both Eli and Phil seem to be moving faster than Robert and Ryan. Like a lot faster. They get to the end of the hall before y'all even turn the corner.
Don't get too far ahead, guys.
Don't slow us down. Right.
Yeah. Keep up, old man.
Which is actually kind of funny because Phil's probably a little older than Robert. Let's be real.
Oh.
So what do we see when we get there?
So there's definitely the shuffle of footsteps. You get down the end of the hall and it's kind of curves, and that's where you see there's a pair of them in leather jackets with studs. The jackets definitely look kind of familiar. You get some flashbacks to the break-in, but the faces aren't right. I mean, sure, they looked ugly, broken noses, roughed up and whatnot, but these dudes are ugly. We're talking like ugly, like super long fangs, that clawed hand you saw earlier, clearly coming off of these dudes, or at least one of these dudes. Pointy ears. This seriously, he's basically straight out of Nosferatu, quite literally.
I try to pump the brakes, but I'm guessing I'm going a little too fast and probably fall backwards onto the ground.
Actually, you can stop yourself pretty easily. There's a little bit of a stumble, just because you're not used to moving at that speed, but physics is a little bit of your bitch on this one.
Like
Same
Robert.
goes for you too, Phil.
Uh-oh.
I look over at Phil just to see if he's seeing what I'm seeing, because this shit's weird.
Yeah, this is fucking weird.
You seen anything like this in Malaysia?
Nope.
The twin Nosferatu laugh. Y'all are great.
Y'all look cracked out.
Y'all look like a dumbass, but I don't judge you on it.
Fair enough. Good one. Game recognizes game. Is there any more of that blood?
How is he just talking to these weirdos? Oh my God. Phil, look at them.
Huh?
Look at them. That is not natural. Why are we having a conversation with this? This is ridiculous. They came in and they're the ones that
And
fucked up
you
our bar.
think you're any natural fucker?
Have you
You
looked in
just
the mirror
drank
lately?
Yeah, y'all just
Go around the world, you see other people. Some people look weird. I haven't seen like this exactly, but there's some weird people in this world.
Well, I can't fight you on that one.
You'll find out quickly that this existence is as much of a curse as it is a blessing. Like, this one right here, points to Phil. You're gonna have a hard time keeping your temper later. Trust me.
Yeah, probably.
The slow one behind you with the stick up his ass. He's gonna get real insufferable real quick. And he's
You're
gonna
telling
become
me.
a real picky eater.
As if on cue,
He's not already insufferable.
I come up behind Eli and Phil, and I look at him and I say, "Get out of our way, Count Chocula."
Gonna be good.
I wish you had this assertiveness the other night when I was trying to break up the bar fight.
Eli, I swear to God.
Make us. Two Nosferatu second.
Okay.
You made you made me do this. Phil, beat the shit out of him.
I'm gonna go over and do the 1-2 combo of just ka.
So I'm gonna narrate this.
Oh God.
You're fast. That is literally the only edge you have in this fight. These two literally flank you and basically box your ears. They're ringing. And they are stronger than you. You know you're strong. These two are stronger. Like, they could probably throw you through a wall.
Oh God. I might need some
The
help.
rest of y'all are seeing him get his ass handed to him.
And drop into a bull rush.
Okay. And you're fast.
My goal is to hit them with my shoulder, sort of as like a shove off.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You definitely get a hit in because they don't see you coming. Now they whirl around, and one of them gets you quick cut across the cheek. And some of that blood splatters onto that chair leg you got. It starts to sizzle. The chair leg starts to sizzle from the blood that's on you.
I drop it. Out of complete surprise, dropping it.
The two vampires literally look over when they see you drop it. They hear the clang. Like one of them's like got Phil lifted up on his feet. The other one's about ready to, wail into him again.
Mhm.
And they see you drop it, and they start laughing. They drop Phil. It's the funniest shit they've ever seen. Oh, you're gonna want to learn that one later, dude. That's a good one. And they start like walking off like this, like they're done. They're just like, they're fine. You'll figure your shit out by yourself.
I help Phil out.
Do you want to try and stop them?
Oh, I do nothing. Sorry, Phil. That clearly did not go as planned.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing. That was unexpected.
And for the audience at home, Eli, our bartender, has been sending gifts in the chat for our private chat here. His gift game is strong. It's kind of distracting, but I love it. I'll be looking at all these later once the game's over.
And can I walk up to Eli, having been invisible, and say, they were not flawless like we are?
Shit. I don't think they've seen a mirror in decades.
Probably a good thing. Maybe we should show them one. Maybe that's what would like take care of them.
Do you have your compact on you?
I don't know. Do I?
You actually.
Oh, I don't know if I want to open it and see if I can see my reflection or not.
It's up to you.
Yeah, let's try it. Sure.
You see your reflection just fine, but good God, are you pale? That summer tan you were working on, just done.
I can rock this. I got this. We can work. I turn it to Eli and show him.
What do I see?
You see yourself, paler, slightly more chiseled cheekbones than you normally have. A little gaunter, but it works for you.
Are you gonna show them the mirror or what?
Oh no, like they kicked Phil's ass. Like I don't know what I can do against them.
You're flawless. Come on now. You've got the curves and the swerves and the charisma. I clearly can't do it. I mean, but still.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Oh boys.
They stop. Okay. Yes.
Come here, I gotta show you something.
They toddle on over. Sure, what's up, sugar?
I flashed them their reflection. What happened to you?
They look at the mirror. They look at you. They look at the mirror. And they start laughing again. They're just chuckling. It's like, oh, bitch, we know we ugly on the outside. We know.
And they're okay with this.
You could have been just like me, little girl. I was the one who made you when you were looking. But you got lucky.
Fuck.
You got lucky. You can call me Andy. And that's Dandy. Yeah, shut up. You are what we call a caitiff, little girl. That means whatever happened to you, blood wasn't terribly strong. You don't have any particular strong traits of your line, your vampire clan, like we do. Which means you ain't got no family. You ain't got no one to protect you. Depending on where you go, they will run you out of town. But you can call me Daddy.
I think I just vomited a little in my mouth.
No.
That's fair. That's fair. So you're probably looking for the big bitch in charge.
Is she the one that keeps giggling?
That's the one. You lead
Yeah.
your partner away. You entertain me. And this one takes his lumps okay. Place to fill. Get you a bite to eat. Send you on your way. So they lead you down the hall, if you choose to follow, to one of those open office spaces. And there's a fridge that's running. None of the other lights are on, but the fridge is running. Andy, you can tell it's Andy because he's got the red patch on his jacket and Dandy's got the blue patch on his jacket. Opens the fridge. He's stacked on each other a bunch of blood bags, like you get it straight from the hospital. This ain't gonna be the tastiest, but it'll do the job. Tosses each of you a blood bag. They're cold. It's sustenance. It'll feed you, but it is nothing like the warm, pumping heat of the hunt. It's like airline food.
I gobble mine down immediately.
Same.
It's clearly not top rack stuff.
It's not top shelf, not at all. In fact, Robert, it don't taste right to you. Yours doesn't taste right.
Like you're used to getting top shelf stuff from guys in dark alleys.
You don't know my life.
It just, like, it almost turns to ash in your mouth, Robert. It's definitely, it doesn't compare to that first drink. It's you're having a hard time stomaching it.
I've like retch a little bit, and then I try and play it off like, there's nothing wrong with mine.
Complete with the blood splatter.
Yeah,
A little bit down the chin.
Phil, you want the rest of mine?
Yes.
Nothing wrong with it to you, Phil.
Ooh.
Get what you can get.
Dandy looks at Robert's like, oh, you're one of them picky ones. Let me see. He starts digging. Ah, here we go. Waiter. It actually says waiter, O positive on the label.
I take it. I open it. I take a sip.
Tastes fine now.
Delicious.
Fitting that you should feel so comfortable sucking the life out of the waitstaff.
I hate you.
I look at my bag just to see if there's any sort of blood type or occupation.
It's B negative. Yours specifically says vagrant.
It says what? Sorry.
Vagrant.
Well, here's trying it out. So
It tastes fine to you. It tastes okay to you. Andy and Dandy pull out a couple.
The back
They
alley
take a
drinks.
seat. Oh yeah, they take a seat and they, kind of raise it in a toast. Y'all are probably going to meet your sires, the ones who made you through all this. You'll probably be able to make a choice. Stick with us, learn everything you need to know, or run and end up getting picked off by hunters, werewolves, a poorly timed sunrise, bad campfire, particularly devout clergy. You're not going to roll, just a plus. Can't really get sick, though if you had anything beforehand, well, you're stuck with it forever. It's just not going to get any worse. You're not going to die of natural causes. We die messy. We don't die slow.
Go look over at Phil. Werewolves?
I don't know.
Hey, vampires exist, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
be interesting. Might be a fun. Maybe get a pet out of it. Get a little doggo.
Oh no, honey, no, honey, no. Andy and Dandy say that in unison.
I'll tame him. Don't worry, I'm strong.
They're stronger, and they can walk in the daylight.
Okay. No werewolf as pet.
Oh, good. This one learns.
So if we stick with you, what's the plan?
Well, it's more of a long-term stick with us. We're not going to be leading you through all this. We have been ordered not to. But you got at least this far. So the least we can do is help you. We're not particularly fans of the game. But, well, y'all seem to be doing okay so far. Make a good pack.
No, I guess I'm joining you guys. I don't really feel like there's a whole lot of good options on this table.
Smart kid.
Basically, die or join you guys.
Well, you could try and go it alone. Sure. That's a thing. It's hard, but you can do it. Some people have actually been able to do it for centuries. That's going to be a fun time span to think of. Centuries.
I thought a weekday.
But we got to get you through tonight first. Oh yeah, your phones are through that hallway, first door to the right. Have fun.
Sorry for calling you Count Chocula, I say, and then I start heading toward my phone.
Same time.
I'm still not calling you daddy.
Yet. Andy grins at Ryan, and a long tongue comes out of his mouth, and he licks his own, well, the bald spot where his eyebrow would be.
I'm gonna go get my phone now.
I'm coming with you.
There's a desk in that room. And there's your phones all laid out nice and neat. They've got about 20% charge on them, roughly each. Reception's not great. But there's a stairwell at the end of that hallway. It'll probably be a little bit better if you go up a floor.
I'm gonna walk over to the stairwell, but before I go up a floor, I want to look sort of to get an idea as to how many floors up there are still left and how far down I can see.
There's basically two flights of stairs above you. So there's goes up to the first floor and then the second floor.
So we're at basement.
Yeah, you're in the basement.
Can you hear them anymore, Eli?
It's a great question. No idea. What can I hear?
Well, your hearing is pretty normal right now, so you need to take some time to concentrate. But you might be able to hear it, yeah.
Does the stairwell amplify or confuse things regarding sound?
There's definitely some echo. So you can at least pinpoint what floors people are on. And it's definitely a bit clearer than it was from where you were at.
Do I get a sense of where Giggles is?
Oh, yeah. She is definitely on this side of the building. But you're not sure if it's the first floor or the second floor because of the echoing effect from the stairwell.
I look at my phone just to see where I am in terms of service.
You've got a couple of hours. It's not great. If you try to send out a text message or something, it's probably going to take a while to get out and come back. Data services that are shit, though. So try and find it. GPS is not going to be really easy.
Great. All right. Well, I open up Pokemon Go just to see if there's any spinners, and then I shut it.
Sure, there's a spinner. Why the hell not?
This is why you never got that raise you asked for. You just cannot.
Priorities. But hey, it means it'll be easier to take certain gyms.
All right, so come on, guys, let's go. Giggles is somewhere on this side of the building.
Mm-hmm. So, what floor do you head to?
I guess first things first. Let's just check out the first floor.
So it leads out to another hallway. The floor layout seems pretty similar. It's not exactly the same. I mean, it's not completely built like a casino where, the floors are all exactly the same to completely disorient you. But, it's close. You hear some classical music coming out of a room a little bit further down the hallway.
I'm gonna wait till everyone's here. See what everyone wants to do. We're on a whole new floor.
Mm-hmm.
I hustle to keep up with the speedy folk.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does take some effort specifically to be speedy. So it's, not speedy. It's not all speedy all the time. Oops, all speedy. Yes, in fact, it's not cardio, bitch. I love it. So once everybody's all together, where do you head towards the music you hear?
I mean, why not?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
We've already been attacked by Nosferatu. Fine.
Mm-hmm. As you get closer, you hear what sounds like spirited arguing. No, no, no. The Latin clearly translates to celebrate. Celebrate. And then there's another voice. Are you absolutely sure? Because that's going to upset thousands of years of scholarly research. As you look in, there are a couple of gentlemen. They definitely look like more like the academic types. Tweed jackets with, leather patches on the elbows, the whole bit. Sweater vests. One of them has fine European features, but very dark skin. And the other one is built like a brick shithouse.
All right, I'm going to try a different approach and sort of walk in sort of casually like I own the place. Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong room, I guess.
Oh, no, you're in the right room. The one with the darker skin says.
Well, how am I in the right room? Walk me through.
Eli, you said your name was?
Unfortunately, it's what it says on the name tag. I suppose I should take this off.
Probably, yes. My name is John Covington. I'm your sire.
Is there a customary response to this? As apparently I'm new to this whole vampire situation.
Depends on the situation. Relationships between sire and child in our society have been very diverse. For example, the other dude, the one built like a brick shithouse, says, normally, I like to get into a fist fight with anybody that I sire first, but due to some favors called in, I didn't really have much of a choice. Looks over at Phil. Sorry, kid.
What? Daddy?
This one's quick on the uptake. I like it. But just call me Jeremy. It's fine.
Jeremy.
We'll talk more about this later. But you got this far, which tells you something. Distracting, Jen, it's distracting. I love you all dearly. I just want to say that right now. I've just met you tonight and I've met you all. I love you all dearly. And I gesture to the chairs. Probably a few things we should explain to you before you go forward. Y'all take a seat.
Yeah.
As we're taking a seat, I whisper to Eli, why couldn't my daddy look like yours?
Yes, I'm just lucky.
No, you're not lucky at all.
Well, at least I don't have to call my daddy.
Well, if you choose
Yes.
to, that's a conversation we will have to have later. There's, it's the whole concept of the modern concept of consent. I'm getting this right, Jeremy? Jeremy nods to confirm. The reason why you were all here. Our society has many different factions. One of them decided that because of where you work and the people who are associated with where you work, they were going to cause a little trouble. Unfortunately, you seem to have gotten caught in the crossfire. For that we are dearly sorry. Due to various issues, we were able not to capture those who are responsible, unfortunately. But we were able to get you all somewhere safe, and unfortunately, due to the massive injuries all of you sustained, we didn't have many options to save you and to find out exactly what happened. Normally, we would like to give people more of a choice. But it would be either this or traumatic oblivion. This is still traumatic, to be fair.
Yeah. Better than Oblivion, though.
Sounds like we're putting Oblivion off for ever.
Yeah. I guess technically we also get to like live forever now. Wait, do vampires live forever in this?
After a fashion.
Hmm.
Natural causes will not touch you. Aging will not touch you. Your faces will look as pristine as they do today. Whatever wrinkles you had, you were stuck with them forever. None of you had a hangnail, did they? Good.
But I heard Robert's got herpes.
On the bright side, I get to hate you forever.
Best friends.
Jeremy looks over at John and says, "We used to hate each other like that too, didn't we?" They nod. We had a rivalry going for about a century. And then when all of our various friends around us died, we were the only ones we had for each other left. We got married 20 years ago.
So you're saying I can look forward to Eli dying?
I have a really important question. Which one of you is Meryl Streep and which one of you is Goldie Hawn?
Jeremy just kind of gives Eli that blank stare. Isn't it fucking obvious?
Oh, you're Meryl. Got it.
Thank you. John looks a little crestfallen at that. Well, I guess I have good taste. I suppose I should give you this. John reaches into his jacket, and it looks like there's nothing in the lining, but he's clearly pulling something out, and then suddenly there is a rather large Bowie knife in his hand. This will be important. Pulls up his sleeve, and he slices his forearm. There's some blood on the blade. Starts to sizzle a little bit.
What's with the sizzling?
Looks over at Jeremy. I'm so sorry, love. I'll replace the jacket. And basically, faster than people can blink, he whips it across the side of Jeremy's neck. Jeremy kind of twists and falls, and you can see the wound is starting to kind of fester and kind of bubble, and it looks really, really painful. Like, that's far more painful than a knife wound like that, just from the blade itself, should be.
I just shout, "Holy shit!" and I get up and I back away, and I am on the other side of the room. Holy shit!
That is the appropriate response. He then turns it so the blade handle is pointed to you, Eli.
What do you want me to do with this?
When the time is right, your blood will be as much of a caustic poison on a blade as mine. It is part of the double-edged blessing of our clan. We have Banu Hakim. Some call us the Assamites, but that's honestly a bit tacky. And Jeremy looks over at Phil. Our clan is called the Bruja. One of these days, you're going to punch something, and it is going to burst into flame.
That's amazing.
Don't do it in here. I personally will put you out in the sun myself.
Oh my God.
Just something to keep in mind.
That just made me the happiest lad in this world.
Surrounded by imbeciles.
Oh, she's going to love you. Right. Up you go. One more floor. She's waiting.
Take the dagger, and I guess I'm gonna put it in a pocket? Does this come with like a holder or something?
Try your chest.
Oh
Eli,
yes, forgive me. He reaches back into the jacket. There's nothing there. You swear to God. And then he pulls out a leather. He pulls like a leather sheath, and there's like a little froggy hook on your belt loop.
Okay. All right. So I guess up a floor.
Mm-hmm. Good luck. Do you all follow?
Oh yes. If no one wants to turn it into a race or anything, I just sort of gradually make my way to the front.
Mm-hmm. When you reach the second floor, the doorway opens into a large executive suite. This space seems to put a little bit more attention into the decor. If you didn't know any better, based on what you saw on the other floors, because of the tapestries and the draperies and the hangs, this room is just at home as much in a Victorian mansion as it is a newly remodeled warehouse / office building. There is a PA control sitting on the very large oak desk. And sitting at that desk is a woman with severe blonde hair pulled tight into a rather beautiful chignon. If you look at her, she practically is Meryl Streep. If anybody's Meryl Streep in this building, it's her. Well, maybe she's Catherine Goodman. Who knows? Who goes in first? Is that going to be Robert? Excellent. Ah, my child. I'm so glad to see you are, in fact, the natural leader I thought you were. My name is Agnes. I am your sire.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Agnes.
Were your friends able to make it as well?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they're, and I just sort of gesture as they're coming up. I elbow Eli and say, be polite.
My liege.
Oh no, we don't. We don't have to deal with titles here. I am no prince. I am no Camarilla lackey. I'll probably have to explain that to you as well. But I want to congratulate you all. Normally, with my particular sect, we have a slightly more brutal method of testing those we embrace. It usually involves an open grave, a shovel, and a small drop of blood, and you have to dig your way out.
Sounds
You see-
tedious.
Oh, yes. And I believe that is a waste of all of our time, is it not?
Well, I certainly prefer this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you all do. We can't have you scuffing your nails, can we, Eli? I had a feeling John would choose you when we saw you come through. This actually has been rather entertaining, I will give you that. You seem to have jumped into all of this feet first.
I mean, it seems like there's no going back besides our deaths, which doesn't sound like fun.
Well, some of our deaths sound fun to me.
Well, the perpetual night shift is always an option. That said, I'm very glad that you decided to come here and continue this journey as opposed to grabbing your phones and running for the hills. It tells me you're smart.
It's honestly not that much of a stretch with the way Robert does scheduling.
Yeah. Trust my life with these people.
And how about you? Agnes turns to Ryan. How do you feel about all of this? You were the youngest of the lot. You had the most to live for. How do you feel?
Well, the creepy ass dude downstairs said that no matter what, I was going to be alone. I have no family. These guys have kind of become my family tonight, so I'm sticking with them.
Agnes smiled. I'm very pleased to hear you say that. You have all passed this test and you have amused me. Normally, when we have incidents such as the one that led to your embrace, rival pack trying to muzzle in on our territory, any sort of collateral damage we would simply destroy. Andy and Dandy stayed my hand. Dandy is a very good pack priest, all told. He understands the precepts under which our sect operates, understanding full well what we are, and embracing our freedom to be as we wish to be. Is that something that is of interest to you? Or do you want something with a little bit more structure, more rules, more discrimination, more hiding?
Sounds like that's how it is now. And that's how it used to be, free of all that?
Well, what we have is more of almost what we would call a peace treaty among ourselves. We are, after all, social predators, after all.
So the Kardashians.
After a fashion, yes. Actually, it's a very good analogy. Well done. Would you like all of you to stay together for a while? To learn what you are, to learn to control the powers you've obviously enjoyed quite a bit this evening. And then perhaps join us fully as full-fledged members of our sect.
I don't see why not.
I still don't want to call him daddy.
You don't have to, my dear. He's Andy, bless his heart, loves his dramatics. But then again, I suppose we all do after a while.
Then yeah, I'll stay.
Well, I'm certainly grateful for the opportunity, even if everyone else wants to make it sound like you're the worst of the options.
Sweet boy. I can hear the dagger behind your smile, but I think I want to see where you plunge it first. She taps the PA. All right, my lovely packmates, they've decided to join us. Come on up. And so Andy and Dandy and John and Jeremy all come into the office. And Dandy has one of them giant fish bowls that you drink out of in New Orleans. Congratulations, kiddies. This is going to be your first Valdery.
I like where it's going.
What?
Put a little blood in the coat. It's all going to mix together. And then we're going to be friends.
Just let it happen, Phil.
Sender.
I love it. I love you all. Unfortunately, we're running short on time. There's some fancy words. There's a lot of talk about Cain. And judging from the context, it sounds like Cain from the Bible, the first murderer. So it's some sort of religious figure. Everybody, all of your respective sires, put a little blood in that fish bowl. Some of them use a blade. Some of them use their fangs. Do you contribute your blood to the cup?
Yep.
Yeah, I use my fancy new fangs.
1/3 the cost of working for Robert. There's no sweat or tears.
I love you all dearly. And with that, some more fancy words, and everybody takes a sip from the cup. And you feel not just the standard trauma bonding that you would expect from tonight, but like you almost kind of like some of the people around you. Like, even though they, took you against your will and killed you and made you into vampires and eternal creatures of the night that have to drink the blood of the living just to survive, but they're not that bad. Eli, you even kind of respect Robert a little bit more. It's weird. But hey, maybe it'll pass. Praise Cain. And that ends our session for tonight. This is what happens when the closing shift meets the most monstrous of all sects in Vampire the Masquerade, the Sabbat.
Had a lot of fun.
Yes, very fun.
I had a blast with all of you. The role play was phenomenal. Everybody got into it. The banter between Eli and Robert, like, seriously, like, just gave me life. I felt like I needed, like, go get a mojito just to enjoy it properly. The earnest violence that you put into Phil, Brian, was a delight. And Erica, I know that you were fairly new to this, but you had that right kind of like curiosity, but also kind of hesitance that really made the character, and it was perfect. And I couldn't have asked for a better session. Y'all were great. Yeah, and Vampire itself is definitely very much a game where you're dealing with a lot of really traumatic stuff. The Sabbat, like I said, is the absolute worst as far as that's concerned for dealing with like real life trauma. And then the Camarilla is a little bit more kind of that high politics. The sniping and backbiting is always going to happen no matter what sect you're in. But they turn it into a high art form. I kind of wish I had made Eli a Toreador, not gonna lie. Toreador being more kind of the artsy, art, beauty, and love type, and the bitchiest of the bitchy. But I think with everything that went the way it did, y'all did great. Vampire is actually a really good one for kind of exploring some potentially traumatic things, but in kind of a safe environment, because it's not actually happening to the person. But it's definitely something you have to be careful with around the subject matter. This is definitely more of a game of horror, even as you throw in some of the humor elements. The humor elements is actually provides more of a stark contrast to the horror. And the fact that y'all just kind of, dove in once, presented with a walking meal was just fantastic. So thank you all so very, very much. But that's going to be it for us tonight. There will be more streams with more of these lovely cohorts of folks role-playing and getting their certifications as a geek therapist. And you'll see me again next week, specifically running Legend of the Five Rings with another cohort. But all of these folks are actually going to be coming up the end of the program and taking their tests soon. So wish them all good luck. And we'll see you another time. Have a great night.